Do it!
Anakin breathes heavily, staring down at his enemy. Anger surges through him, fueled by the memories of war, of the Jedi lost, of all the suffering Dooku has caused. Palpatine continues, his voice smooth and persuasive. He is a Sith Lord. He's too dangerous to be left alive. Dooku's eyes widen in horror. He turns to Palpatine, realization dawning. Palpatine does not even look at him. Anakin's grip tightens. His heart pounds. He knows what he wants, to end this war, to take revenge. But something holds him back. His gaze shifts to Obi-Wan's unconscious form. His master always taught him to be better than this. Killing an unarmed opponent, even a Sith, is not justice. He exhales, his muscles relaxing. No, Anakin says, lowering his saber. This is not the Jedi way. Palpatine's expression darkens. He's too dangerous to be left alive. We need him for answers, Anakin insists. With a flick of his wrist, he deactivates his lightsabers and tosses Dooku's hilt aside. He stands trial. Dooku, for the first time in years, looks at Anakin with something that almost resembles respect. But the moment is shattered as Palpatine scowls in fury. Before Anakin can act, more battle droids rush onto the bridge, their blasters firing relentlessly at him. With a calm gesture, Dooku commands one of the droids to target the ceiling. This creates an explosion that showers debris between him and the Jedi. In the chaos, Dooku escapes, leaving Anakin and Palpatine stunned. Palpatine clenches his fists, eyes narrowing. Anakin, pulling himself up, is left wondering. Did he just save the galaxy? Or doom it? The invisible hand shudders as explosions ripple through its structure. Dooku, gravely wounded, stumbles through the dimly lit corridors of the Separatist flagship, his severed wrists dripping blood onto the cold Durasteel floor. He knows the truth now. Sidious never intended for him to survive. He had groomed Anakin as his replacement all along. The betrayal should not have surprised me, he muses bitterly, pressing forward. It is the way of the Sith. With his fingers destroyed, Dooku cannot wield the Force with his usual precision. He's weaker than he has been in decades, yet his mind remains sharp. He reaches out through the Force, seeking an escape. From the cockpit of his personal Geonosian solar sailor, his loyal pilot droid, FA-4, detects his distress signal. The sleek, elegant ship detaches from the Separatist fleet and maneuvers through the battle-ridden sky. As Dooku reaches the hangar, a squad of super battle droids rush to assist him, helping him aboard the ship. With a final glance at the chaos unfolding around Coruscant, he orders the droid to jump to hyperspace. His destination? Sereno, his ancestral home. Meanwhile, aboard the Invisible Hand, Anakin helps Obi-Wan regain consciousness. Palpatine seethes in the background, watching Anakin with hidden fury. The entire confrontation had not gone as planned. Anakin was supposed to execute Dooku in cold blood, fully submitting to the dark side. Instead, he showed mercy, a dangerous sign of his wavering loyalty. Sidious quickly masks his disappointment, shifting into the persona of Chancellor Palpatine once more. As more battle droids storm the bridge, he manipulates Anakin into focusing on the mission at hand. Dooku was a Sith Lord. He will return to strike again, Palpatine says smoothly. You should not have let him escape. Anakin clenches his jaw, his mind clouded with conflicting emotions. I needed to be better than him, he mutters. Palpatine places a reassuring hand on his shoulder, his grip lingering. Mercy can be a weakness, Anakin. Anakin doesn't respond, but for the first time, he senses something unsettling in the Chancellor's tone. As the battle in orbit rages on, General Grievous receives the shocking news of Dooku's defeat. The cyborg warlord's talon-like fingers curl into a fist as he watches Dooku's ship vanish into hyperspace. The loss of his master means the Separatists are now leaderless, except for him. The coward fled, Grievous taunts. Then I will command the Separatist war machine. Realizing Coruscant is lost, he issues an emergency command. The Separatist fleet must retreat. Several ships begin falling back toward deep space, their escape vectors erratic as Republic forces tighten their grip. Before departing, Grievous transmits a coded message to Sidious via hologram. My lord, Count Dooku has failed you. Sidious, his face shadowed beneath his hood, nods grimly. Indeed, the time has come for you to lead, General. Take the remaining Separatist Council to Utapau. I will contact you soon. With that, Grievous disappears into hyperspace. The war is far from over. The tides of the war begin to shift. With Dooku gone and Grievous in hiding, the war takes an unexpected turn. The Jedi Council senses something is amiss. With Dooku's sudden retreat, they suspect there is more to this war than they previously understood. They begin investigating the Sith's presence within the Republic. Anakin's hesitation troubles Palpatine. Sidious accelerates his plans, knowing that his chosen apprentice may be slipping through his grasp. Dooku, alive but disgraced, begins plotting his own survival. Without the Sith, without the Republic, he must decide if he will become a pawn again, or forge his own path. As the battle ends and Coruscant stabilizes, one thing is certain. The endgame has begun, but the pieces are no longer moving as Sidious intended. In the remote world of Sereno, inside the grand yet dimly lit halls of Castle Sereno, Count Dooku sits in silence, nursing his wounds. His hands, now replaced with crude cybernetic prosthetics, ache from the hurried surgery performed by his remaining medical droids. He's no longer Darth Tyrannus. His master, Darth Sidious, betrayed him. His apprentice, General Grievous, has taken control of the separatist movement. His grand vision of a new galactic order lies in ruins. Dooku, once a proud Jedi, once a Sith Lord, is now a fugitive. He turns to his last, most desperate option. Activating his private holocom, he sends an encoded transmission directly to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. "I seek an audience with the Jedi Council," he states, his voice weary but firm. "I offer you Darth Sidious himself." The council chamber is unusually tense. The holographic image of Dooku flickers before them, his regal face marred by exhaustion. "You expect us to believe this is not a deception?" Mace Windu's deep voice is laced with suspicion, his piercing gaze locked on the Sith Lord's image. "You have led the Separatists, orchestrated war across the galaxy, and now you come to us pleading for sanctuary." Dooku exhales, shaking his head. "I make no excuses for my actions, Master Windu. But you must understand, I was a pawn, just as the Republic was. Sidious is the true enemy. He has infiltrated your government at the highest level. Even now, he accelerates his plan." A heavy silence follows. Yoda, seated in deep contemplation, finally speaks. "Truth, in your words, I sense. And yet, lies you have told before." "I understand your skepticism," Dooku admits. "But I have spent years in Sidious' presence. I can reveal his identity, his true name." The room grows colder. "This is a trap," Ki-Adi-Mundi states bluntly. "We must consider the possibility he's telling the truth," Obi-Wan Kenobi counters. "If Sidious is manipulating this war from within, we may already be too late." The council fractures into heated debate. Mace Windu and Saesee Tiin argue that Dooku cannot be trusted, suspecting this as a Sith deception. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Plo Koon believe Dooku's claim could hold merit. If Sidious is within the Republic, the Jedi must act immediately. Yoda remains conflicted. The dark side clouds all. The final decision is made. Dooku will be brought in, but as a prisoner. As the meeting adjourns, Anakin Skywalker does not speak. He stands near the chamber's entrance, arms crossed, his thoughts a storm. He spared Dooku's life, and now the Sith Lord seeks asylum with the Jedi. Had he made the right choice? Had he allowed a greater evil to escape? Or had he spared the only man who could expose the Sith's grand deception? His uncertainty festers, and Sidious watches. From his private chambers in the Senate building, Chancellor Palpatine gazes upon the Coruscant skyline. The war has escalated beyond his initial designs, but it matters little now. The time for subtlety is over. The Jedi are no longer mere obstacles. They are threats. Count Dooku's survival has forced his hand. If Dooku reveals his true identity, the Jedi will come for him before his final ascension is complete. He will not allow that to happen. Stepping into the center of his chamber, he transmits a coded signal to every clone commander across the galaxy.
"Execute Order 66.
Across the galaxy, the clones turn on their Jedi generals. On Kashyyyk, Yoda barely escapes as Commander Gree and his forces open fire. On Cato Neimoidia, Plo Koon's starfighter is shot down. On Felucia, Aayla Secura is gunned down by her troops. On Megiddo, Ki Adimundi is overwhelmed by a hail of blaster fire. And on Coruscant, the worst is yet to come. As night falls, the Jedi Temple becomes a war zone. The 501st Legion marches up the temple steps, but unlike the original timeline, they're not led by Anakin Skywalker, but by Commander Appo. Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi stand side by side at the temple's gates, lightsabers ignited, cutting down wave after wave of advancing clones. "Fall back inside," Obi-Wan shouts to the younglings and Padawans behind him. "Get to the archives. Find a way out through the lower levels." The Grand Hall of the Jedi Temple is engulfed in fire. Statues of ancient Jedi Masters crumble, and the once hallowed chambers become killing fields. Anakin fights with a relentless fury, his blue blade carving through armored troopers. His emotions boil over. Anger, sorrow, guilt. This is my fault. I let Dooku live. And now, we're all paying the price. For every Jedi that falls, Anakin blames himself. High above Coruscant, inside his starship, Dooku watches the massacre unfold. For the first time in decades, he feels true horror. This is not the revolution he envisioned. This is annihilation. Dooku, once a Jedi, once a Sith, now stands at a crossroads. As his ship descends toward the city, he makes his choice. Through the smoke and chaos, Anakin Skywalker stands at the steps of the burning Jedi Temple. His robes are torn, his face streaked with sweat and blood. And from the shadows, a cloaked figure approaches. Count Dooku. Anakin's lightsaber roars to life. "You have a lot of nerve showing your face here," Anakin growls, his grip tightening. But Dooku does not draw his weapon. Instead, he stops. "I was wrong, young Skywalker," Dooku says softly. "About many things." Anakin hesitates. "The Sith are beyond redemption," Dooku continues. "But I am no longer one of them." An explosion rocks the temple behind them. Dooku looks up at the destruction, the madness, at the death. "I see now that I was merely Sidious's pawn, as were you." Anakin's breathing is heavy. His mind races. "I offer you a path forward," Dooku says. "Together, we can end Darth Sidious before it is too late." Obi-Wan steps forward, eyeing Dooku warily. "Why should we trust you?" Dooku meets his gaze. "Because if we do not stop him now, then the galaxy is lost." And for the first time, Anakin Skywalker listens. The Jedi Temple burns behind them, but there is no time for mourning. Sidious has revealed himself, and if they do not act now, the Sith will rule the galaxy. Inside a dimly lit safe house in the lower levels of Coruscant, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Count Dooku stand together, a trio that should never have existed. Anakin's arms are crossed, his jaw clenched, his blue eyes filled with suspicion. Obi-Wan stands at his side, quiet but watchful. Across from them, Dooku sits, his expression calm yet burdened. "This will not be a battle," Dooku says evenly. "It will be a war in miniature. Sidious is more powerful than either of you realize." Obi-Wan exchanges a look with Anakin and responds, "We've fought Sith Lords before." Dooku's expression darkens. Sidious is no ordinary Sith Lord. He's the culmination of 1,000 years of Sith mastery. He will not simply fight you. He will break you. "Then we don't give him the chance," Anakin says. Obi-Wan nods. "We go straight to the Senate. Confront him before he has a chance to consolidate power." Dooku exhales, knowing this is their only path forward. "Then let us make our move. Tonight, the Sith must fall." The halls of the Senate building are eerily quiet. The usual bustling of bureaucrats and politicians is gone. Only silence remains. Then, from the darkness, the Royal Guard, Sidious's most elite warriors, step forward in formation, blocking their path. Obi-Wan engages without hesitation. He moves like water, his years of experience slicing through the guards with deadly precision. Dooku and Anakin press forward. The massive doors to the Chancellor's chamber slide open with a deep mechanical groan. Inside, Darth Sidious waits. The Sith Lord rises from his throne, his sunken eyes glint with satisfaction. "Ah, my wayward apprentice," he says, gaze locking onto Dooku. "And young Skywalker, how unexpected." Anakin growls, his lightsaber igniting. This ends tonight. Sidious merely chuckles. No, my boy. His voice drops into a whisper of pure malice. It begins. Sidious attacks first. A red blade erupts from his sleeve as he launches himself at Dooku with terrifying speed. The chamber explodes with the clash of lightsabers. Dooku meets his former master's assault with a strength he's not felt in years. For the first time since falling to the dark side, he fights not for power, not for dominance, but to right his greatest mistake. Sidious cackles, spinning and striking, his attacks impossibly fast. You were always a disappointment, Tyrannus. I was always your pawn, Dooku snarls, parrying a strike aimed at his throat. Sidious twists, then lashes out with a crackling blast of Sith lightning. Dooku catches it with his saber, but stumbles. Anakin surges forward, his blue blade crashing against Sidious's red. The force of the impact shudders through the room. You wanted me to fall, Anakin growls, his saber hammering into Sidious's defense. You wanted me to kill Dooku. You wanted me to become your slave. Sidious grins, barely struggling. And yet, here you are, fighting by his side, a true fool. With a flick of his fingers, Sidious blasts Anakin across the chamber, sending him crashing into the wall. Obi-Wan, having finished off the royal guards, runs into the chamber just in time to see Dooku stumble to one knee. Sidious's saber pierces Dooku's chest. A gasp escapes Dooku's lips as he falls to the floor. Sidious sneers, withdrawing his blade. Such a waste! Anakin and Obi-Wan rush to Dooku's side, but it is too late. Blood drips from the Count's lips as he looks at Anakin. His voice is a whisper. Do not make my mistake. Anakin's hands tremble as he supports Dooku's weight. What are you talking about? Dooku exhales one final time, his eyes locking onto Anakin's. Do not let him rule you. And then Dooku is gone. A silent fury builds in Anakin's chest. He stands. Sidious smiles. Good. I can feel your anger. The Sith Lord ignites his blade again. Strike me down. Take your place as the true Lord of the Sith. For a moment, Anakin stands at the edge of a decision. The dark side calls to him. He could destroy Sidious right now. He could take the power for himself, but then he remembers Dooku's words, and for the first time, he resists. No. Sidious's smile fades. Anakin steps back, lifting his saber into a defensive stance beside Obi-Wan. Not today. The two Jedi charge, and the battle truly begins. The battle in the Senate chamber leaves the air thick with smoke and the stench of scorched metal. Sidious lies motionless at the center of the room, his body crumpled and lifeless. His Sith lightning left deep burns across his hands, the twisted remnants of his malevolence now reduced into nothing. Anakin Skywalker breathes heavily, his knuckles white around the hilt of his saber. The rage is still there, simmering beneath the surface, but it does not consume him. He looks down at Sidious's corpse and realizes he is free. The death of Darth Sidious does not mean instant peace. Across the galaxy, war still rages. The clone troopers, programmed with Order 66, remain dangerous. Some still carry out their final directive, hunting Jedi across the stars. Others, without Sidious's command, are lost, unsure of their purpose. The Senate is in chaos. Many of its members were complicit in Palpatine's schemes, while others were too blind to see what had unfolded around them. Some call for martial law, others for a reformation of the Republic. The Jedi Order, or what remains of it, stands at a precipice. The Jedi Temple is a ruin. Its halls, once filled with the laughter of Padawans and the wisdom of masters, are now silent. Anakin and Obi-Wan return to the temple, stepping over the wreckage of what was once the Order's heart. So many of their brothers and sisters have perished, but not all. From the shadows of the temple ruins, a few Jedi survivors emerge. Shakti, battle-worn but alive. Ahsoka Tano, who had returned to Coruscant when she felt the tremors in the Force. Yoda, wounded but unbroken, standing in the remains of the council chamber. The Jedi have been humbled. Their old ways have failed them. That night, Anakin walks alone through the ruins of the temple. Memories flood his mind. Training as a boy, sparring with Obi-Wan, laughing with Ahsoka. He remembers his mother's death, He remembers the Tusken Raiders. He remembers Count Dooku's last words. Do not let him rule you. And he realizes something. The Jedi Order will rebuild, but it cannot remain unchanged. The old ways, rejecting attachment, fearing emotion, placing duty above all else, led to its downfall. For too long, Anakin believed he had to choose between love and duty, power and restraint, the Jedi and his own heart. But what if he didn't have to choose? The next morning, he leaves not as the chosen one, not as a Jedi bound by a broken code, but as Anakin Skywalker. And he does not leave alone. With Padme by his side, her hands resting protectively over the life growing within her, they step aboard their ship. Together, they set course for a future of their own making. Far from war, far from destiny, far from the chains of expectation. This time, Anakin chooses love. And for the first time, he is truly free. The Republic will heal, but it will never be the same. Bail Organa and Mon Mothma lead the charge to rebuild democracy, ensuring that no one man can ever hold the power Palpatine did. The Jedi who remain must redefine their purpose. Yoda and Obi-Wan attempt to guide them, but the old traditions are questioned. Some Jedi believe in rebuilding the Order as it was, others in forging something new. Anakin's departure leaves a void, but his actions have set something greater in motion. Ahsoka watches him go, sensing that his journey is far from over.
May the Force be with you, Sky Guy.
Until next time, remember, each story is but a spark in a galaxy full of endless possibilities. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned, and may the Force be with you always.